Welcome, and hello to Dragon Age 101, your non-spoilery guide to the world of Dragon Age. I'm Gildathon, your lore archivist, and today I'm going to help you quickly understand the basics of the Blight. Please keep in mind that if you have played the games before or want to skip the past entries and jump to Veilguard, you may want my Dragon Age 201 video over the same content linked below. The Magister's Sidereal. The first point in understanding the Blight is to know why they happen in the first place, and for that, we need to talk about the Golden City. In the Fade, no matter where you are, when you are dreaming, there is a floating castle in the sky. This castle has a few names, but was once known as the Golden City. As the Chantry tells us, this is where the Maker lived. Over 1,000 years before the start of the games, the old gods that Tevinter worship whispered to their high priests that they were to break into the Golden City at the heart of the Fade. And they did so, and by Chantry accounts, once they breached the veil and stepped foot into the Golden City, the Maker threw them out blighted, and the Golden City was corrupted, turning black, and thus those in Thedas began to call it the Black City. These Magisters brought the Blight into the world, and its taint would spread until those tainted scurried into the dark depths of the underground, carried by the sweet musical calling that those blighted hear. Eventually they found the old god Dumat, freed and tainted him, and thus began the first Blight. The Blights. We assume that, as so far at the head of every Blight is an archdemon, that there will only be as many Blights as there are old gods. With that knowledge, Thedas has defeated 4 of the possible 7. They have gotten shorter with each passing Blight thanks to the Grey Wardens, an ancient order created to be vigilant in stopping the Blights. After an archdemon is slain, the spawns scuttle back down into the deep roads where they hide in the darkness and search for the next old god and rebuild their numbers. The surface people forget and move on, trying to rebuild what they lost, but for the underground dwarves, there is no forgetting. The Blights decimated their world, and for the 2 living Tigers, Orzammar and Kal Sharok, Blights end up being a mixed blessing. The darkspawn that used to beat at the gates now march to the surface, giving them a moment's peace. The Blight Disease. When someone is blighted, usually by coming into contact with something that carries the blight and then the taint entering their bloodstream, they begin to turn into a ghoul. Their body will start to break down, hair and nails will fall out, clumps of flesh itched away, and a beautiful song in their head that takes over all of their thoughts. They must follow this calling. It's all they can think of. At this moment in Thedas, there is no cure to this process, but there is a way to slow it down. The Grey Wardens have developed a process known as the joining, which helps them slow down and protect its members from succumbing to the Blight. However, while Wardens can live many decades after being blighted, the Blight will eventually win, and it's customary for those too far gone to travel to where the darkspawn lay and die in battle. The darkspawn. There are different types of darkspawn, and they can be separated into 2 groups: ghouls, who were once living beings and have been tainted, and true darkspawn, creatures born of the Blight. The archdemon is the leader of the spawn and believed to be quite intelligent. While technically a ghoul, as these creatures are believed to once be the old gods of Tevinter, most documents list them among the true darkspawn. They use the calling of the Blight to give orders to the darkspawn and ravage the world. No one is quite certain what their goal is, other than to destroy. Broodmothers are perhaps the worst of the darkspawn. These ghouls used to be females of any given race, and once twisted and tainted, they now birth hundreds of true darkspawn. It should be noted that not all women who are tainted turn into broodmothers, however. Of those that do meet that horrible fate, their race determines which creatures they spawn. Hurlocks are born of human broodmothers, Shrieks, also called Sharlocks, are born of elven broodmothers, Genlocks are born of dwarven broodmothers, and Ogres are born of Qunari broodmothers. Young darkspawn grow rapidly, and those that end up stronger and more intelligent than others of its brood are alphas, leading groups of spawn as their commander. Other darkspawn, including even alphas, can find that they are able to use magic. These are called emissaries, and they use a strange type of magic rooted in blood magic, but using the Blight. On their own, these creatures feed and destroy everything they touch, but not all are mindless. They are able to fashion weapons and armor, stealing what they need from the living. They fashion strange statues for reasons unknown to us, and even traps to kill as many as they can. And that, my dear Delens, are the basics of the Blight. I'm also happy to announce that this is the end of the Dragon Age 101 series. While Dragon Age 201 still has a little ways to go, this should be everything you need to get a grasp on the lore of Thedas before you start your journey into Dragon Age Origins. If you would like to learn more about certain subjects, I've linked a playlist below with more comprehensive videos on a wide variety of subjects mentioned here. But be careful, while I do try to mark spoilers on my channel, it's your job to take notice of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I do hope to see you back after you enjoy the games. Darkspawn.